What's up YouTube, Capital G here, checking out a brand new Mekk-Knights support card coming out in Cybernetic Horizon. This is actually pretty neat because I wasn't sure if Konami was going to go back to Mekk-Knights. I know that technically we're getting a vanilla Mekk-Knight and Flames of Destruction, but that doesn't really count. And I thought Mekk-Knights were kind of done, but no, the next set, Cybernetic Horizon, they're getting more support. And man, this storyline is continuing on forever and ever. You guys know that this started all the way in Code of the Duelists with the World Chalice, and then the Crawlers, and then we had the Mekk-Knights show up, and then the Troymares, and holy geez, it's a long story, and I'm not exactly sure what's going on in the lore here. I'm not an aficionado with the World Chalice lore, but I'll let you guys let me know in the comment section below what's going on. Anyways, this is World Chalice Mekk-Marie. Oh man, Konami with these names, the puns, get it? Mekk-Marie, it's kind of like memory. Anyways, it's a quick play, it's a hard once per turn, and it's similar to something like Emergency Teleport. It says special summon one Mekk-Knight monster from your hand or deck in face-up defense position, but it is returned to the hand during the end phase. You cannot special summon monsters except Mekk-Knight monsters for the rest of the turn. So to me, this is a good card, but it is kind of a double-edged sword, and I say that mainly just because of the you can only special summon Mekk-Knight monsters during that turn. Mekk-Knights right now, I would say most competitively are being splashed with Invoked, and Invoked generally like to summon some of their fusion monsters. Invoked Makaba is generally one of the best cards to fusion summon for that, and during your opponent's turn, sometimes you might want to flip over a Scapegoat or something like that to get some tokens for a Link summon. None of that is possible during the turn that you activate this. However, I like this because, number one, it special summons a Mekk-Knight monster from the deck, which, to my knowledge, doesn't only the Link monster do that. Like, Mekk-Knights don't even have, like, they have no other ways of special summoning monsters outside of, you know, inherently summoning with the column effects. So this does that. At the same time, it still lets the monster not only be a chump blocker, which is basically my terminology for getting a monster on board so your opponent doesn't, you know, completely savage your life points, but at the same time, that monster can activate its effect, and that's really nice. The monster at the end of the turn also doesn't die. It goes to your hand, so you can still use it for something like trade-in. It's if it survives the turn. And what I like is, since you can get things like the blue Mekk-Knight or you can get the purple can activate immediately, which can search out another Mekk-Knight that you might need. And then blue, if your opponent happens to have a bunch of cards in columns, like let's just say your opponent used Scapegoats and they have a couple of cards in columns, then you can actually summon blue. You can end up not only using it to stop an attack, but also searching a couple of cards in the same process or at the same time. And then if blue doesn't die, it just goes back to your hand. So I think I like this card a decent amount, and I think I like it a lot more in pure Mekk-Knight builds. Like maybe you consider running like 2 copies of it. 3 would probably be a little cloggy, just because pure Mekk-Knights, a lot of the Link spammy plays like Grinder Golem and Gofu, those cards have kind of been put in check because of the ban list, so you're not really going to be hindered all that much by the condition of you can only special summon Mekk-Knights during that turn. If you're playing Invoked Mekk-Knights, it's either maybe 1 copy or not running it at all, because that deck, like hypothetically, it needs to be open to fusion summoning every single turn, and you're locking yourself out of fusion summoning if you're using this card. And even if you use it during your opponent's turn, you're potentially locking yourself out of Scapegoat, and we know how busted Scapegoat can be, so I think you probably want to be able to use Scapegoat every single turn as well. I'm not even really annoyed by the fact that the Mekk-Knight monster comes out in defense. Mekk-Knights have incredibly high stats, so it would, like, to me, it would be way too cheesy if this just lets you summon it in attack mode and you could do damage during your turn and then put the monster back in your hand. Like, I'd be like, nah, dude. If there's one thing Mekk-Knights can do well, it's do a lot of battle damage really quickly. We don't need a card that basically exacerbates that. So you guys let me know what you think in the comment section below. Thank you guys for watching. As always, subscribe if you have not already, and turn on that notification bell for daily videos.